Friends in Christ, Pastor Brian here. Today is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of one of my favorite seasons of the church year, Lent. I know, that might sound a bit odd to most people. Favorite? I mean, isn't Lent a whole season where we get all somber and we look at everything we've done wrong and give things up that we like so that God knows that we're sorry about those things? Well, not exactly. See, I like the season of Lent because it's a time for us to be honest with God, with ourselves, with our neighbors. A time to drop any kind of pretense and admit that we are a messy and imperfect people, that we don't have this whole life thing down pat. I like it because it's an extended period of time for me to really focus on deepening my faith, working on those places that are less than perfect in my life, to sit with other believers as they do the same. I like it because it falls in that time between the end of winter and the beginning of spring. There isn't much else to do anyway, right? Sometimes I think of it as spring training for the church. I like it because it's a time when my faith feels more vital, real, connected to my life. I like it because it means Wednesday night soup suppers with friends and fellow believers, Lenten midweek worship that is calming, thoughtful, a time to reflect with those same friends and fellow believers on who God is, what God has done for us, and what God is calling us to do and to be. I like it because it's always been something where I've learned a bit about myself, God, or my faith. So yes, it is a season that is more somber. I always talk about our worship during Lent as being a time where it's like putting a mute into a trumpet. The brightness is there. It's just quieter. And it is a time to look at where we have done wrong, and sometimes people do give something up for Lent. It's a discipline. It helps them focus on God for a time. But all those things are just means to an end, to deepen our faith and hope in the God who sent Jesus to save us, to show us the way to a life fuller and more abundant than life lived on our own. So, I hope you'll join us this year for my favorite season of Lent on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Don't forget about soup supper at 6, and Sundays at 8 or 10:30. God's blessings.